Welcome to TSG Foundation's Wisdom of the Zodiac class. Today's lesson and meditation is taken from Volume 3 of Wisdom of the Zodiac by Gita Saraydarian. This is Chapter 7, titled Libra, the Balance Scale. This is a beautiful lesson, and it is all about finding the inner core that we have that will always keep us in balance and in equilibrium. This is a beautiful lesson, and I hope you have your books and open it to page 75. And if you don't have this series of books, I really sincerely recommend that you get them. They are beautiful, whether you study them by yourself or you gather a group of 2 or 3 people with you. And monthly, you study these lessons for a year, 2 years, you will see how it will change your life. Often, we human beings want life to be different, and we want others to do it for us. We want to say how come they are not doing this or that or changing this or that. But the responsibility is really on us. And this is how it starts. And so if we each do our part to do this work and to study together and meditate together, life will change. And here's what it says in this beautiful chapter, first paragraph, page 75. One of the purposes of full moon festivals is for people to come together in the name of beauty, goodness, and truth, to uplift their hearts and minds toward greater ideas and visions. Okay, so we don't come together to just moan and groan about life and how terrible politics is, or business, or international relations, or whatever, but we come together in the name of beauty, goodness, and truth to uplift ourselves with new visions. So that's the first thing we are going to think about, is that during the full moon times, to put little petty things aside for a while and focus on the principles and values that we most cherish. As people direct their minds and their aspirations toward beauty, goodness, and truth, a transformation occurs in their being. Okay, and I know this because I have experienced this. I have done this work for many years now, and it is transformational for me and for everyone who participates with me. This is because whenever we strive toward greater ideas and visions, we slowly change into our visions. So it's not enough for us to have a vision somewhere out there, but to do the work needed to bring us to that vision. And that's what this whole wisdom of the zodiac is about. It is not about the moon or this or that or zodiacal sign. It is about having those visions in our minds and striving to become those visions. You must have a vision toward which you aspire in order to change. Okay, so the change happens from inside of us. We have a vision and we aspire toward that, and we change because of that aspiration. Now at the end of this session, I will give us a meditation that is taken from our virtues books, and it will take you step by step on how you can take a virtue or a vision and actualize it in your life. If you have such a vision, eventually that vision or beauty will synchronize your actions, your thinking processes, and your emotional responses. So slowly you will become that vision that you are. A zodiacal sign transmits great voltage of energy into the universe. And so this is very, very important. Great energies come to us from the universe. Many changes come to us from people around us, from all the human activities around us, and we need to know how to respond to them. And this is that whole lesson on how best to respond. Look what it says on page 76. The most important factor in the effect of such remote happenings is your response. So whatever is happening in the world, whether it is universal, zodiacal, or political, or social, or economic, whatever happens, your responsibility is how you respond to it. Your response means that through your own attitude, you can change the influence even of the stars. Okay, so it is your attitude. You're striving toward that vision that is going to make a huge difference. Now here's a beautiful theme that really runs through all of these books, Wisdom of the Zodiac, and is the theme enunciated on the top of page 77. Pay a lot of attention to this. It is very, very important. Actually, the full moon has nothing to do with this special meditation. Okay, this is important. We are not worshiping the moon. It just happens to be a full moon visibly at that time. We do a meditation at the time of the full moon because at that time, okay, the sun obliterates rather, the vibration or the frequency of the moon and creates a direct line of contact from the zodiacal sign to the sun and from the sun to our planet. So you are going to see that at the time of the full moon, it is not the moon that we are worshiping, but the sun's direct alignment with a specific zodiacal sign that then gives that energy of that sign to our planet and to all of us. Now, what is it that happens during the Libra full moon time? Ancient sages represented each zodiacal sign with a symbol. The symbol signifies the quality of the energy of the sign and also the goal of the sign. So the symbol of Libra is a scale, and we hold that scale in balance. What is it that holds that scale in balance? It is the central fulcrum, the core of our being. And that is what we are going to strive toward, is how do we strengthen that inner core? How do we develop that strength of our inner core so that no matter what happens anywhere in our life, whether it's personal, health-related, family issues, or global, or even cosmic or universal, we still have a sense of equilibrium and balance that we will respond properly and effectively toward those challenges. Now, there are 8 causes or signs to watch for during the time of Libra, and I will go through these briefly, each one, so that you can think about them and meditate on them. Take them one at a time, one day at a time, for 8 days during the full moon time, and meditate on these. Now, you can do the full moon meditation for 1 day, 3 days, and as I have said before, 5 days, 7 days. Now, this is 8 days. It's really interesting that there are 8 points. If you take each one and meditate on it, you will see what a beautiful insight you will have during this month of Libra. What is the first one? The first one is discussed on page 77. The energy coming from the sign of Libra causes within you a life of balance, physically, emotionally, and mentally. To me, that spells a mature person. A mature person is balanced physically, emotionally, mentally. We are not going crazy physically, emotionally, or mentally when something happens in our life. On a scale, the 2 sides of the scale move up and down, but the fulcrum does not move. So you are going to find ways and means to keep your physical, emotional, mental life straight in your core and focused, so that all the shifting of life does not affect you. It's so beautiful. We should not be totally identified with our physical, emotional, mental, or even spiritual values. We should have a balance between them. You see, this is very important so that we lead a life that is real, that is manifesting our inner qualities in the outer life. So that's the first thing. The second thing, the symbol of the scales reminds us, is not to be affected by the ups and downs of life. This is so important because in the world, in our individual life and the global life, so many things are happening. And if you watch television, read the internet, the news, and check your email on an everyday basis, you will see how many things in people's lives are going up and down, up and down, up and down, and they're swung from right to left and up and down. There's no balance in their life, no place to hold on to and be stable. This is what this means. Not to be affected means you have something that you are stable and you are holding on to it. Immediately when someone says something good about you, your scale goes up. If they say bad, it drops. See, we don't want that. Why should we be affected by everything that people say or do not say about us? Even if they don't say something and we expect it, that is also a problem for us, isn't it? You start your day very happy and balanced, then you turn on the news and you go up or down, just like a stock market. The person who is on the path of mastery, now listen to this, the person who is on the path of mastery does not fluctuate because of the changes happening around him. There's a core inside of him that he or she has developed. This is so important. So notice this, not to be affected by the ups and downs of life. You can observe yourself during the Libra time or during the whole year, and see how you are influenced by the ups and downs of life. Now, the third point, the balance of Libra, what does it show us? Is a symbol of righteousness and justice. This is so important. In the smallest things or the larger things in your life, are you righteous? Are you just in what you say, what you think, and what you feel, and what you do? This is so important. When you exercise justice and righteousness, you come closer to the fulcrum of balance instead of being one of the cups of the scale. Here's a shift. You come close to the center instead of constantly going up or down and being influenced by them. This is so important. Look what it says on the bottom of page 79. Every time you are unrighteous, you are in debt. Isn't that interesting? When we are unrighteous, we have put one more notch in our karma. We are in debt. We have to clear that up. To be in debt means to create or build causes. Causes is a karma that will eventually limit or hinder your progress, happiness, creativity, and expansion. Isn't that beautiful? That is so important. Let me read that again so that you really internalize why is it that great teachers of the ancient wisdom and religious and spiritual masters and teachers tell us to be righteous and just in everything that we do. Because to be in debt means to create or build causes that will eventually limit or hinder your progress, happiness, creativity, and expansion. There's a secret in this statement here that you can think about. If you are not progressing, if you are not happy, if you are not creative, if you are not expanding into the areas that you want in your life, find out where you have been unrighteous. Okay? The fourth point is balance is a symbol of testing. This was really important and took me by surprise. I thought, why testing? On page 80, it says, you must develop the kind of consciousness that tests things before you do them, before you believe them, before you emotionally get hung up in them. There are so many people who follow this or that tradition, this or that action in their physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual lives that they are completely controlled by other people. This is saying test, question, ask. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. If it doesn't seem right to your intelligent, educated mind, then don't do it. Ask questions, get information, get the truth before you invest in your time and your effort and your creativity, your money, your talent. So be careful and ask and test, because when you test something and you are really buying into it, it means you can stay in balance and you can take the ups and downs of that decision because you believe in it. It is something that is really yours. Number 5. The balance symbolizes that you must do everything according to your own capacity. This is also something very interesting that also took me by surprise. By your own capacity. Does that mean we don't stretch ourselves a little bit or strive ourselves? No. It means that you are not working in ego, in illusion, in glamour. You're not in vanity, that you can do something that is way beyond you. This is so important for us to remember. Always work within your capacity, which means you are honest with yourself. This I can do. This I can't do. Sometimes people in the spiritual fields have such grandiose ideas and visions that they can't really do, and it makes them frustrated, angry, and give up. Instead, say, what is it that I envision, and what are the steps that I can take toward that vision? What are they? What do I need to put in place? Sometimes people ask me, how do I serve? How do I meditate? Well, one tiny step at a time according to your capacity. All right, this is really important. You must do things only if you are fit for them. Sometimes people say, oh, I meditate every day for an hour, 2 hours. Well, that's not always recommended. Maybe start with 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Maybe you study for 5 minutes and meditate for 5 minutes. Do you see what I mean? So be very, very careful that whatever you choose, in any part of your life, from the most mundane to the most complex, try to make sure that you really are fit to do it. that you have the needed capacity to do it. Number 6, balance means that you can obtain things according to what you are. Okay? You can translate things according to what you are, and you can respond to things according to what you are. This is so profound and so deep. I've thought and thought about it, and let me give you a few insights. According to what you are, first of all, always remember that your opinions and your insights are really the measure of according to what you are, what you know, and what you've experienced. If you have broad experiences in life, and you have a high amount of beingness and consciousness, then what you are obtaining and translating and giving opinions on makes sense according to your experience. But if you have very narrow experiences, very narrow knowledge, then just remember in your mind, instead of building an illusion or a glamour or an ego, that you know everything, that your opinion is the right thing about everything, that it can be limited by who you are, and what you've experienced. So always have that humility to understand that you obtain things, translate things, respond to things according to what you are. Okay, so it's a very important psychological health that you always keep in your mind. This is what I know, and it's according to what I know. It might not be the absolute truth. And this brings us a much better understanding of other people, to listen to other people, to other people's opinions, and not just dismiss them outright, because maybe they have an experience that we didn't have. Okay, so think about this. There are many, many deep meanings for this number 6. Now let's go to number 7, page 81. The balance reminds you that you must have a measure in order to measure things. This is really deep and profound. We have opinions and ideas, like I said a minute ago, about everything. What are the measures that you use to give an opinion or an idea about something? Those are going to be your principles. So always have a measure. What is my measure? What are my principles? To me, the 5 principles are the most important things that I try to measure in my life. I've said this before, you've read them in these beautiful books. What are they? Is what I am doing, thinking, feeling, and so on, deciding, beautiful, full of goodness? Is it righteous? Is it joyful? Does it provide freedom for others and for myself? These are the principles. If you stand on them, then you will see that you can measure things and decide on things on a much saner and much healthier way. So this is very important. Changing or expanding your standards is one thing, but do you have a standard to measure, or measure to begin with? You must have a standard, so build a standard for yourself. And I can tell you no better way to do that than to study and read these books on virtues that we have just published. These are beautiful, and let me hold it up for you so you can see it. These beautiful books on virtues. There are 3 volumes, and there are over 160 types of virtues that are detailed in these books, sometimes the one virtue several times. And there's a meditation in there that I will use later on today and remind us how to build those virtues in our life and be an expression of that virtue in our life. So changing your standard is by becoming the virtue, the principle that you want to have. And when you do that, you can measure things in a beautiful and balanced way. Finally, number 8, page 82. The symbol of balance means that you are going to use both the right and left sides of your brain. Many of us know what that means. You can think about what that means in your life, but what this basically means is your physical and spiritual abilities, interests must be balanced together. So it doesn't mean going all the way down material and forgetting everything, all the way to spiritual and be spaced out and forget your everyday life, your duties and responsibilities. And as far as I'm concerned, a truly spiritual person is a person who is silent and practices the deep truths and principles that he or she learns and understands and actualizes in daily life. This is so important, so that you are a spiritual scientist. You are actually practicing everything that you learn. All right? So let us now do this beautiful meditation. Study this chapter 7 over and over. Meditate on these 8 points seriously. Write down what you think and see what in your life needs change. Maybe not all of them are things that you need. Maybe 1 or 2 are things that you need to focus on. So let's see what we can do with our meditation. We will begin with a great invocation. Then we will do the seed thought. The seed thought is going to be, how do I become balanced and sane individual? Okay, a balanced and sane individual. And for that, I will use the meditation that is given in Virtues and Values. This is given on page 15 and 16 on Virtues and Values, all 3 volumes. They are beautiful and I love them, and I will take us step by step. So make sure you get ready, and after that we will say a nice closing mantra. Okay? So close your eyes and sit up straight. And put a nice smile on your face so that you are relaxed. And our seed thought will be, how do I become a balanced and sane person? Let's focus on balanced first. How do I become a balanced person? So close your eyes, take a deep breath, and relax. Let us say the great invocation together. Focus on what these words mean. And as you say the great invocation, think about the hundreds, thousands of people saying the same thing all over the world. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Take a deep breath and say Om silently. Our meditation seed thought is, how do I become a balanced person? First part of that is to aspire. Lift your heart toward the ideal of being a balanced person. Affirm it, that it is possible in your life, and see if you can visualize what that would mean. So the first step is aspire toward being a balanced person, putting away all negativity or denial of balance. Visualize yourself standing focused, balanced in your core. Second step is concentration. Where in your life you can express balance right now. Step 3 meditation. Find the deeper meaning of balance. What does it mean to you? Pull from your deepest wisdom. Number 4, discipline. Choose one part of your life, such as how you treat yourself or your family relations, and visualize expressing balance in that area. An area that may need a little balance, for example. Put yourself in that situation and practice balance instead of getting angry or reactive. Go deeper into silence. Ask your solar angel, reveal to me a greater vision of balance. Go deeper and ask, what is a very subtle way that I can use this virtue in my life? Visualize standing on top of a mountain. See beautiful vegetation and trees, little animals, and see how God has provided a beautiful, balanced nature for us to observe and enjoy. And just observe and experience the balance all around you. Relax and radiate the sense of balance and peace that you have toward the entire world. Repeat after me, keeping your imagination or visualization on top of that mountain in perfect peace. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate, and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all men love. Say 3 ohms and radiate your loving balance toward all of life. Thank you for joining me today. I enjoy presenting these wonderful Wisdom of the Zodiac classes for you. I hope you enjoy them and share them with your friends and family, and read these wonderful books. The 4 sets of Wisdom of the Zodiac are available for you directly from TSG Foundation, and also they're available as ebooks. And these virtues and values, I can't say enough about them. They are beautiful. You can study each virtue, meditate on it during the full moon, combine them together, and see how you can really become the solid, dependable, core person that you are meant to be. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.